So let's take a look at the button properties for scaling and color and things. Um, as of this build, the recent one right now, the all of these states. So down towards the end, you'll see things where it's the GUI state for here, GUI scale. When I go out of GUI scale, it's going to grow a little bit larger here. Um, all of those properties, they're usable, but they're all going to have an issue in terms of scaling. So if you go here and you're trying to do something specific, you may find that it's going to have some odd results with it. It's consistent odd results though, but nonetheless it'll be a little bit odd in terms of using it. Same thing for the down state, hold state. The first buttons though, for instance, like with the hold, this is going to say how long to activate a hold state, like you have to hold and push the button down. So those are all going to be usable. You can use them right now if you want to. You can also say force mouse hover, so that if you want to make it where the hover state is actually being used or not used. Same thing for tap. Tapping a button, you could say required taps. Right now it's just set to 1. You could say it's required taps is 5, and then you have to actually tap it 5 times based on the tap required finger count, max duration in between, and then you can set them up for like different events that actually have to happen throughout. When it comes to dragging, dragging actually has quite a number of features. They'll be smoothed out and things, but right now you can actually drag vertical or horizontal. You can drag in front of other items or not. You can actually drag based on a grid snapping, and you can actually snap it while you're dragging it left or right or up and down. Finger count for touch screen, if you're wanting to do 2 finger count where you have to push 2 fingers to drag it. And then same thing, scaling color. The other one is kind of like by default right now is tilt. So as a, for instance here, if you wanted to say no tilt on it, you could actually say no tilt, no lag position. If I turn these two off, so say I turn those off right there, when we play and when we drag it around, if you remember from previous ones, there was that nice kind of lag that was happening with it. If you turn it off, it'll just be like the other one. When I drag, now I just have it as quick as it can. It's just going to follow right where the mouse goes. So kind of static and stiff, but that may serve your purpose for what you're wanting to do with the drag tool on it. Alright, so those parts, let me just kind of finish off here with the ending of it there. Those are all going to go through, and actually let's just go ahead and lock this one as well so you can see how that works. If I was wanting to drag only left and right, I could turn off drag vertical, and then if we're using it that way, oh, and then also drag scroll, I think that may do something. I'll have to take a look at it here. But if we do the locking on it, then when you decide to drag, so if you want something that's only going to be locked left and right on a drag tool, you can have it where just maybe it's a panel that just goes left and right. So this way I can't go up and down with it, but I can go back and forth this way. So some basic features for you there, where you can actually set those up and put elements on them or do things with it. But that's going to pretty much cover all. Let's make sure we go to the end here. That'll cover all of the basic buttons, and all of them are the same in terms of the properties. There'll be a property set for the button state, and then there'll be a scale and a color state. And the scale and color state, I think we could probably we can actually do one. It may be a little bit awkward in terms of the visual, but we can say that on the standard normal state it'll look like this, and then on the color, we'll go ahead and say the color is going to transition back to regular. Now this will make sense when we actually do the down state. So on our down state scale, let's say for instance we scale, we'll scale it where it goes a little bit bigger right here. We'll say transition time takes about a ½ second. Alright, and then the color, let's say we want our color to be enabled, and we'll make it a dark blue. Alright, so with this setup, if you decide to go this route, when you enable them, it should load in the right size, but it's just during that edit mode, it'll be a little funny. Yeah, it actually goes big this way too. So if I click on it, it actually does the animation going up on the down state. It takes the half second to get there, and then it goes back to the normal state. So there you go. So there's been a lot of different ways that you can actually animate the button, not only with waypoints and animation, but also scaling and color changing and things like that with it. Alright, so that should be, if I'm not mistaken here, I think that'll be all of the major parts and pieces of the GUI. Yep. So that'll be all the parts that we'll be using, and all the parts you kind of use. And again, be sure that if you haven't listened to the other GUI ones, there's a lot. There's parts and pieces where things are working really well, and then there's things where you want to either stay away from or just have fun testing. But overall, though, that's going to be the basics of it. We'll do a couple more that just kind of show a in-game use, so you can see how you use it that way.